to have destroyed or whatever, how are you going to handle the evolution of the world? Is the world going to evolve?
Yeah, we'll try Eve.
It's a great question. It's one thing, all MMO developers talk about, and many of them are trying to solve this. Some are doing like phased instancing and all kinds of interesting things, but they create their own problems but you have to. Our vision of this is it's not really about the graphics. It's about what's happening in the world. That is very permanent and changing landscape. If you we're taking Eve as an example. That's not really because we're working on it. It's only because it's because it's that's where you have this patterns in a much stronger sense. The landscape needs to be changing massively throughout the years. It feels different, but there's nothing to do with the graphics. It's all about the social.
Well, no, I'm not really asking about the graphics. More about factions and interaction and
that absolutely changes, and that's the whole thing. And actually, things open up and close down. But it's not like the church is not going to change to the gas station because those kind of things.
Well, I think you're more talking about the actual.
Well, we're talking about how you can go into. I think they have phased instancing now, so this isn't as much of a problem. But you can go into like a quest area and destroy all the members of a faction, and then they're still wandering around, and other players are still going.
But you were speaking of consequences. For example, in Eve, if your ship gets destroyed, it's done. You don't get it back. You have to buy insurance. And so similarly, there will be real consequences in your interactions in the world in Wargames.
But it's basically what you're talking about this, controlled storytelling. Like I go in, finish this thing, and then that's done. And this is one of the reasons why many MMOs employ simple solo instances and very controlled experiences where you go in and do all these things and the world changes around you and stuff like that. It's interesting in a way. I don't find it personally an interesting concept because I would rather spend resources and time on building a real world where this actually happens in reality and building facades. As a concept, it's just a fundamental philosophy, a different philosophy of how to make mass games. I understand, I think the new Star Wars game is very heavily focused on this. It's like you have very much control over the game has very much control over the narrative. The game changes. You have cinematics, to finish it off. It's probably great, but it's not an MMO. That's an MMO design. As I say, that is a single player design philosophy. Because it's always a desire for the game designer because it's way easier to control the narrative than to have it free. It's a much harder problem because you can't really test it. You can only make theories about it. But the answers are very different. Yes, the controlled experience is known, it's fun, it's good, but it's not magic. That's really my point. So I don't like face messaging. I don't like, of course I want to burn to the church and I'm going to blow again, I won't be the only one to kill that person, NPC. But I'm not going to do face messaging to lie to you, right? I would rather just, you just kill once, there's only one, It's a very special case, and we do it once. And we talk about it for years. I'm not going to fake it, do a face instance where you're like, I don't want the game to lie to you. If you understand. I've created many MMOs because I wasn't tall enough to enter the dungeon. It was like, fuck you. I don't play this game. The game is telling me I'm stupid. I want to go in there and die.
That's honestly exactly the answer I wanted to hear. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I just have two quick questions. Is there I don't know if this is in this game, is there a generation system? If it has a cap, how does Diablery work?
This is what we should say.
We kind of talked about it.
We'll save this one.
It's under heavy discussion, so
yeah.
Some of that's been going.
Sorry about that.
Something that would be kind of disappointing for me to see is I start my character and the first thing that I have to do is take a taxi to the woods and kill some like level 2 gangbangers or something. So are there plans to kind of dynamically generate content like that for players?
Make an example.
Say like Influence says that there are Guru coming, and then 2 days later the Guru are stronger and they actually attack the city, and then a day after that players have attacked them, so they're weaker now, and then they eventually get gone, sort of thing.
Yeah.
We have some systems like that.
All right.
Yeah, just stumbled on something you hadn't talked about. Built-in rats.
We call those world events.
Okay. Hi. I have two sort of related points. Firstly, I think EVE benefits a lot from being one server community.
Can you lean into the microphone?
Yeah. I think EVE benefits a lot from being one single server community rather than a whole bunch of splintered copies.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you had intended for World of Darkness?
Yes.
Okay.
So the way it happens in World of Darkness is that the multiple cities where you can travel between, and all card names are unique. Communication can happen across all. It's basically one huge community. But so it's not technically a signature, but philosophically a signature. So because I absolutely agree with you. I think it's a major thing, and that's one of the problems with many of the MMOs. Like, let's say I meet you at the party and say I'm playing World of Warcraft. Oh, cool. Me too. Like, what level are you at? Because we're probably not playing the same server. And even if you ask you what level, like, I'm 55. I'm like, I'm just on 20. You can't play. So yes, it's hugely.
The other part, the more important part here, I think, is the. And certainly more than one person is going to be Prince of New York or want to be, right? So how did you plan to determine, like, how will one player have the praxis of anything, and how will the game determine that? Is there going to be some sort of mechanical lock-in on that? Is it going to be by?
Yes, it is supported by mechanics, but it's incredibly political and social. It's like the game design for it relies on human interaction. It's not like you get 5,000 experience points and you are a prince. That's not the way it happens. You have to have support from the key players in the city. But the way people gain the original powers is mechanical, but it's a mixture of it's kind of a mixture of the power players in every area. It's like the mixture of power players just fighting it out. The power players who control the social spaces. The power players control the power players. It's really good actually.
All right, we're going to try to hustle through. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Okay, I'm going to come right behind him on the server-centric versus the one world. And because one world is so critical to me, because I've watched multiple games already, use a phrase that was used earlier. You will have a way to deal with Scroatmaster, whether he's griefing you, ganking you, bothering a chat channel. And on all the server-centric games, they died because if there's any imbalance in population or game mechanics, suddenly, no, there is no longer any mechanic to deal with Scroatmaster, and he ruined the game, and the game failed. So I just want to once again recommend, please bring us to one world.
Yep, absolutely.
Along the same lines, are you going to have various cities of differing sizes, and are you going to be population controlling the cities? Because I love Vampire because we have such grudges.
Yeah. It is multiple versions of the same city. They're not going to be of varying size.
Oh, they're not?
No. The population is going to vary, obviously, but they're fairly large, and we don't exactly know the numbers.
Okay.
But they're
depends how many people buy
larger than the servers now. Probably not as large as EVE, but
for the smaller games, I like the smaller games where we make friends and make enemies, and if it's so large, then you can't.
No, absolutely. But yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's also there are not duplicates. There's differences between each city. So
okay.
Yeah.
And you get to choose.
That's usually player controlled.
Nice. Thank you.
Time's up. It's been great seeing you guys.
Does your game have NPCs in it?
Yes.
If you don't want the game to lie to me, why are you putting fake people in it?
Oh, that hurt. I'll tell you why. Because Justin, while you may be able to play the drunk on the corner, I'm pretty sure you won't be able to play the priest in the church all day long. Am I getting booed by the chef? Because if we don't have an NPC chef, then no one will want to be a chef in game.
Hi.
This is a really good one. Last question.
Sure. My name is Luis. I represent right now a big group of Mexican role players known as Role Playing Mexico. We're asking in that forum if there will be a translation, like a Latin American translation for the World of Darkness MMO.
Yeah.
It's going to launch in 5 languages.
Yeah, we just are actually, one of the things, I've told you guys about shared technology, so one of the things we just built for World of Darkness was a epic translation system, localization system called Cerberus, and that's actually getting put into EVE Online right now. They're going to be doing some additional language work in the future, so that's some system that's getting built on our end, and it's a very collaborative process.
Yeah, so absolutely yes.
Great.
And I have a second question. Are you guys planning on some kind of system for torpor, like a cooldown period after being beaten down, or for Methuselahs or elders?
Not in a traditional sense. It's a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like it is in the game. It's more so along the lines of your excuse why your player character doesn't die. Basically, excuse. I mean reason.
That excuse sounds right.
Hey. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming, you guys.